I mean, it's one thing to be out of touch, but it's another thing entirely to reveal that to the public. Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Sharma Show. Thank you very much for joining me today. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate you. So do you remember that video that Gal Gadot put out with a bunch of her friends where they were all singing Imagine? And remember how coronavirus was just like,
yes, I'll die.
And Trevor Noah and the video that he just put out with The Daily Show really reminds me of that same kind of privilege and lack of self-awareness. And remember, it's that same good old Trevor Noah who always talks about how comedy should be about punching up. Comedy should be about speaking truth to power. Comedy shouldn't be about punching down. So he says that and then immediately proceeds to do a joke about a nuclear war between India and Pakistan, makes fun of the Indian accent, and basically laughs at a prospect of millions of deaths.
And obviously, I hope India and Pakistan don't go to war. But if they did go to war, it would probably be the most entertaining war of all time, yeah? Because the Indian soldiers would run out on the battlefield and they'd be like, time for you to die! It would also be the longest war of all time. Another dance number?
A privileged multimillionaire joking about debts in developing countries. Good job punching up there, man. So once again, here's multimillionaire Trevor Noah telling people how stupid they are.
Over the weekend, America surpassed 40,000 confirmed coronavirus deaths and 750,000 confirmed infections. And because of that, most of us have accepted that as painful as it is, we need to stay at home a little longer until we can get those numbers under control. But it turns out there's a different group of people around the country who are saying, nah, how can we get those numbers to go up?
Protests erupting coast to coast with calls to end stay-at-home orders. Thousands lining the streets of Wisconsin. Rallying cries from Washington to Colorado to Maryland.
Fired up protesters converging on downtown Huntington Beach today, holding up signs proclaiming social distancing equals communism and COVID-19 is a lie.
So now, even to begin with, social distancing isn't communism, okay? The people who are displaying bigoted signs during these protests are obviously assholes. And COVID-19 isn't a lie. Why is it a lie? Because you can't see it? I mean, you can't see China, but it doesn't mean it's not there. Oh, come on. That's not cool. Who put that picture up? You know he doesn't like that picture. Come on. That's not nice. But look, the reality is that the silly QAnon type people aren't the only ones that are protesting. A lot of regular people are also asking to go back to work.
And let's be honest, people, this is both insane and counterproductive. Because the more you gather in groups, the longer the lockdown will have to go on. Can you imagine if during the AIDS crisis, mobs of people gathered to gangbang that monkey that started it all? What do we want? Monkey sex! When do we want it? Now! Now, these protests have clearly been infused with the far-right ideology.
Look, simply saying that these protests are based on some far-right ideology by cherry-picking some bigoted posters and signs is very unfair to a large percentage of the working population. See, Trevor is going to be fine because he works for a massive corporation that can afford to pay his millions of dollars in salary. So Trevor is going to be fine, but unfortunately, many people do not have that luxury.
An unbelievable sight. Thousands of people waiting for their turn to get food. Here's some footage from our Lions Roofing news chopper showing cars snaking through a crowded parking lot at the Mesa Convention Center.
I mean, today it looks like we will pass more than 2,000 families. I mean, we're getting close to more than 5,000 individuals that will be served today.
The US weekly jobless claims hit 4.4 million, bringing the 5-week total to more than 26 million, unemployment claims. No industry is safe from layoffs as well. Industries such as the arts, retail, and restaurants have been very hard hit, but employment has even crept beyond these industries. For example, healthcare, thought to be recession-proof industry, is also seeing job losses. Losses were also recorded in waste management, warehousing, and education, as well as professional, scientific, and technical service industries. Womply surveyed 2,300 small business owners in all 50 states to see how they think about business threats. One startling finding was that 1 in 5 small businesses, that is 20% of small businesses, would shut down within 30 days if sales stopped immediately. 3 in 4 businesses said that they would not last 6 months. The survey also showed that many small businesses would already be dead before the federal government's emergency economic relief loans are provided. So are all these statistics and all these surveys, are they also a right-wing conspiracy theory?
The silver lining in all of this is that these protesters are a tiny minority. And we know this because recent polls have shown that big majorities of Americans support stay-at-home orders and, in fact, are more concerned about the economy being opened up again too soon.
So yeah, I'm sure the people that are holding their AR-15s and standing on the steps of the Capitol building and demanding a haircut, they're a tiny minority, yes, of course. But there are also a lot of people who are genuinely struggling and who really do need to go back to work. So yeah, people are afraid. People do fear that ending the lockdown too soon might cause certain problems, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to go back to work. I mean, people are afraid of dying in a car accident, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to drive. People are afraid of getting horrible viruses on their computers, but that doesn't mean that they're going to stop going to weird sites to watch porn. Not that I would know anything about that. So people are afraid of the threat of coronavirus. People are afraid of spiking the number of cases again, but they are also acutely aware of the fact that they do need to go back to work. Because if removing the lockdown and starting sending people back to work is such a right-wing bigoted conspiracy, then why are Spain and Italy doing it? 2 countries that have arguably been the hardest hit in this coronavirus pandemic. Do they not care about their own people? Have they been taken over by right-wing conspiracy theorists? Look, many people are in a position where they do not have hundreds of thousands of dollars in the bank or even millions of dollars in the bank. Many people are in a position where they cannot work from home. They have to go into an actual office to be able to do their work. And many of these people have healthcare costs, they have mortgages, they have rent, they have childcare payments, and they often work jobs where they live literally paycheck to paycheck. So there is going to be a tipping point where concerns about their financial health will actually outweigh the concerns about their actual health. And the longer that this lockdown continues, the closer we will get to that tipping point. Certain countries and certain sectors may not even be able to recover from this lockdown and the losses that they have faced during this lockdown. And so that is why we see countries like Italy and Spain, who have been so badly hit with this pandemic, trying to reopen, trying to send people back to work. That is why countries around the world are creating plans to reopen despite the threats of the coronavirus, because they know that they have to undergo certain risks from the coronavirus in order to get their economies and their countries back on track. There's already been a massive amount of losses that the world economy has faced. So clearly, this is a complex issue. Clearly, this isn't such a black and white issue as a bunch of right-wing nut jobs who just want to leave to get their haircuts. Clearly, multi-millionaire Trevor Noah knows what's best for a server in a small town in Wisconsin and for a factory worker in a small town in Ohio. So I guess we're gonna be alright because Trevor's looking out for us. And I want to ask you, do you agree that this is a black and white issue of people just getting stir crazy and just wanting to get out? Or do you think that there are genuine economic concerns behind the people protesting to go back to work? Yes or no? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section down below. As usual, guys, if you like today's episode, if you like the Sham Sharma Show, please make sure to leave a like, leave a thumbs up. It helps me out. It helps this channel out a great deal. If you like the Sham Sharma Show and you'd like to support the Sham Sharma Show, please make sure to click on the Patreon button in the description down below. Become a patron of the show. You will get the brand new mugs that have shipped out to the patrons as well. And you will get access to the WhatsApp and Discord servers of the Sham Sharma Show as well. Also, if you like this episode, if you like the Sham Sharma Show, and if you have for some reason not subscribed already, what are you doing? You waiting for the lockdown to end? Click the button right here. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to press the bell icon as well. And we have an episode here and an episode here. that you should really go check out as well. I'm sure you'll enjoy them too. I will see you for the next episode. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you guys soon.